Hey everybody, Glenn Lamont here from Wallace Hartley Presents the podcast. So we have another discovery at a former residential school in Saskatchewan, Maryvale Residential School. 715 bodies, they're thinking roughly. So apparently there were markers at one time on these graves. The church had them removed. No big surprise there. But they're still tallying it up. Some of the people on the scene from that particular First Nation were saying they wanted to be as accurate as possible. 715, that's the number that's floating around right now, but they are going to wait and see till they have a firm body count. So another mass grave after this last discovery in Kamloops of 215 bodies. And again, it's just so much grief, so much re-traumatizing of, people who had either actually experienced life in the residential school system in Canada or, are children of residential school survivors. But in actual fact, every single Indigenous person in this country, if there was anybody in their family, or even not, are survivors of the residential school system, a system that was designed specifically for genocide. Nothing more, nothing less, right? And there's just, we're coming up to Canada Day, and I guess what prompted me for this particular video was I was looking at some old posts on Facebook that Harsha Walia had posted, and this was, a couple years back or 4 years back, of the Idle No More movement folks who had interrupted Canada Day. It was brilliant, and I'd forgotten all about it until I saw the pictures. They had interrupted Canada Day here in Vancouver right during the national anthem. They did a banner drop, 150 years of colonization, and then they burned the Canadian flag, and people were horrified. Oh my God, they were horrified. How could you do that? And it's funny because I like to look back on things like this, because at the time none of these bodies had been discovered, and of course now this is an actual conversation we're having. How can we celebrate Canada Day? I have never, celebrated Canada Day. It's always been a thing with me, always, that I cannot condone genocide, murder, rape, land theft. There was never anything to celebrate. This is a racist colonial nation, and they've never admitted to it. They've never done anything about it. But you can tell things are getting serious now. They're heating up, people. And there's a lot of white people who are getting pissed and nervous and upset. And that can only be a good thing, because it means we're going to move forward. We're going to make some changes. We're going to solve this thing. And it's up to white people to do it. It is not up to the Indigenous people of this nation to do it. So, first of all, what did we have? We had a brilliant, I'm sure the Catholic Church is just like ripping their hair out at this point, going, holy crap. With all this going on, we had Ontario priest Monsignor Owen Keenan, and so this was online. Somebody posted it, the actual video of his sermon, where he actually says, but did anybody ever bother to thank the Catholic Church for the good that we did in those residential schools? And of course that went viral, man. It's like taken off. That's what I mean. PR guy at the Vatican or here in Canada is like, oh my God, somebody shut him up. So that was one reaction. Needless to say, big blowback on that one. And then Jodie Wilson Raybould, who is now independent MP. She's an amazing woman. Indigenous minister, member of parliament from here in British Columbia, who is, she represents Granville West, something, in Vancouver. Not my riding. My riding in East Van is represented by an Indigenous woman as well. And anyway, so Jodie, she got into hot water, a couple of years back with Justin Trudeau over the SNC-Lavalin debacle, and she basically said, you can't pressure me. I'm the AG. I'm the Attorney General. I'm the head lawyer in this whole country, and you can't pressure me to not prosecute people because they're your pals. And he fired her because that's the kind of guy he is, right? No uppity Indigenous woman is going to tell me what to do, said the privileged white boy who runs our nation. And anyways, so she ran as an independent, and people still voted for her because she's awesome. And anyways, so this was a Twitter thing, and Jodie shared this on Twitter. The response, I couldn't believe it. So what she had said, she criticized Justin Trudeau, our prime minister, for posturing and jockeying for position regarding calling an election. And she called him out on that and said, you need to concentrate on the issue right now, which is the discovery of mass graves all across this country of Indigenous people that were murdered by government and church. And get this, Carole Bennett, who is the Crown Indigenous Relations Minister, get that, that's her job, Crown Indigenous Relations Minister, also known as the crotchety old white lady, Carole Bennett, responded with a single word to Jodie's text, pension, big question mark. What she was saying there was you don't care about any of the mass graves, you don't want another election called because you're afraid of losing your seat, in which case you wouldn't be eligible for your pension. And Jodie fired back. She put that out there to everybody to see. One of the most racist comments you could possibly make. She obviously has personal issues with Jodie, but also racist in the fact that it's basically saying you're not a strong, powerful Indigenous woman. You're just a lazy Indian, and all you care about is your pension. So that didn't go well for her. People want her ass, and they want her to quit, and she should. Anyways, but the point being here, folks, is that this is, white fragility, white fright. People are terrified. A lot of people, I shouldn't say everyone, a lot of people are just horrified at what has happened and would like to genuinely know what they can do to help, what they can do to make big changes. So that can only be a good thing. But, I think what we're seeing here is that, at their own peril, this government and this nation ignored the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And now here's something physically in your face, tangible, that they can't ignore. They cannot ignore the body of children who were murdered and abused and raped. They just can't. And Canada, the nation, the world is watching. And if we go ahead with full-on Canada Day celebrations in light of this, it speaks volumes about who we are as a country. Who do we want to be? Who do you want to be? What side do you want to be on in history when they call things to account? I already know which side I'm on. I've never had any doubt. However, we're at a big turning point in this country. So if we do a lot of flag waving and celebrating on July 1st, then I guess all bets are off. And I guess we're telling the world what kind of country we really are. So it's up to you. It's coming, not too long, or it's right around the corner. Just a few days to go. So how are you going to spend your Canada Day, folks? Let me know in the comments below. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And I know myself, I will be finding ways to do the best I can to help and be a good ally and facilitate some real change in this country. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one. Out.